What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another One Piece TCG video. Today we have one of my new favorite decks, Robin versus Black Yellow Luffy. Also, I am currently working on getting some new setup to record at locals because, as you can tell in this video, in my previous video, my phone keeps falling as I'm recording. So, hoping to get that fixed here very soon. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video you're about to watch, and this is a interesting matchup, as all versus Black Yellow Luffy matchups are. As you can tell, this game started off not in my favor, as I rolled a 1 and my opponent rolls a 12. Somebody else at Locos also calls this dice the curse dice, so it didn't really work out in my favor today. For some reason, I'm not sure why, I did not have the best starting hand and I decided to keep it and play with it, so that also might have been part of my downfall. My starting hand there is the 4-cost Zoro, the 6-cost Robin, the 9-cost Luffy, the Gum Gum Giant, and 5-cost Nami. My first turn there, I couldn't do anything. I went ahead and passed to my opponent. He goes ahead and uses both of his Dawn for Garp Search on each. Back to my turn, I go ahead and I get that 6-cost blocker Sanji off of draw. So here I decide to go ahead and do my leader effect and trash the 6-cost Robin with a trigger and go ahead and hit for 8 so I can get my Dawn ramp. He takes it and it goes ahead and goes right to trash because of the banish on my leader. Here my opponent swings 5 with leader, which I take and get the Rush Sanji to hand, and then he hits me with a 6k Garp swing, which I counter out of with the 2k Sanji. On my turn, I go ahead and play out the 4-cost Searcher Zoro. I then pull the blocker Frankie because that was the only thing I could take. Then to finish out my turn, I do a 7k leader swing at life, which he takes and goes to trash. My opponent's turn, he swings 6 at life with leader, which I use 2 1k counters to counter out. He then plays Egghead Luffy and uses the effect to trash it and KO Zoro. My turn, I go ahead and play 7-cost Sanji and rest a Garp with it. I then swing 7 at life, which he takes to hand, and then I do a 6k leader swing, which he counters out of. Here my opponent goes ahead and plays out the 2-cost Hiyori, which lets him go ahead and look at his life and take something from his hand and put it back on his life. He ends up putting a big Luffy back in life, plays out the little Luffy in the Sabo, which then allows him to put the big Luffy in play and get the buffs for his leader and for character. My opponent then leader effects and puts a Luffy and a Sabo on his life. He then does Baby Sabo effect and puts the big Sabo out there. Here my opponent goes and takes his leader and does 11k at Sanji and goes ahead and knocks him out there. So in this whole clip, everybody at Locals basically discovered that Robin against Black Yellow Luffy could potentially be very good with Robin's banish effect, which throws things right into the trash. So here I'm talking to one of the other players, trying to decide what would kind of be the best move for me to hear to possibly win.
What do you lose to?
Do I lose to? Most decks. I just play for fun. Most of the time I don't. It's fun winning, but it's not something I strive to do. I just enjoy playing the game. So I decide that the best course of action is to play my 9 Luffy with Rush and swing what I can at him since he's buffed, and he's going to block and lose that Sabo. Back on my opponent's turn, he goes ahead and plays out a cost Gecko Moria, and then brings out a little Sabo and a little Luffy, and then he goes ahead and takes a Luffy from his life and replaces the little Luffy. He once again gets the leader buff and the character buff there. He then decides to use the Luffy main effect and trash his character without killing anything of mine, just to draw a card. He then discards Iva from his hand to the Sabo and Luffy to life, and then goes ahead and does the Sabo effect to get the big one out there. He then discards a couple more cards for the Sabo effect, and then swings 8 at life at me, which I have to go ahead and take. He goes ahead and leader swings at me, which I have to take, and I get that Nami to my hand, which I think lets me kill something, and I forget that with the Sabo every time he has KO effects, so I go ahead and just take that to hand. So back to my turn here. I debate on what to do for quite some time. I decide to go ahead and play out the 7-cost Rush Sanji just to hit there. So I end up hitting the Sabo, and then I debate around on what to swing at here because I didn't know if I should go on leader. He's buffed, so I end up going ahead and doing a 12k Luffy swing, and he ends up countering out of it. So that's basically all that really happened there. There's kind of a lot of downtime with me kind of trying to decide what to do and what's my course of action to help me win. So back here on my opponent's turn, he goes ahead and plays the Gecko Moria. He goes ahead and pulls a little Luffy and a little Sabo out, and then brings out the Luffy to just go ahead and draw a card and kill nothing like he did before, and then buffs his leader. He then goes ahead and takes that Sabo card from life and puts it out on the field. He then goes ahead and hits me for 8 at life, which I have to take. I pulled the Nico Olivia card, and I'm debating if I want to do the trigger or not, and I end up taking it to hand. He follows it up with a 9k swing with the Gecko Moria, which I could go ahead and decide to use the Gum Gun Giant, and with that I Dawn minus, and then I trash a card, and I end up getting rid of the Brick Zoro out of my hand. I then end up using the basically rest of my hand here to go ahead and block this swing, this 11k swing from him. So here I debate what I can do, because obviously he's got a blocker on the board and another life. I decide to go ahead and play that 9 Luffy that I pulled from my draw there, and end up getting the 2k beige off of that, which doesn't end up helping me in the long run. And I kind of just swing the best I can here, and he ends up taking it the next round because I couldn't really do anything. He didn't have any blocks or anything, but it is what it is, and it was a fun game, and we kind of talked about it's always good to do that with your opponent, kind of talk out what could have happened, what was done, and kind of helps you have a better understanding of the game. But thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate you so much. I hope to get some more content out there soon, and like and subscribe.